The new Street Triple models offer more capacity, more power, and aggressive new looks. It's been nearly a decade since Triumph stripped the fairing off its Daytona 675 and created a model that's gone on to massively outsell the super sport machine it's based on, the Street Triple. While it's been revised a couple of times, the 2016 model still shared most of its parts with the original, launched in late 2007, but that's all changing with the reveal of the 2017 version. There are now 3 models on offer, all with a 765 cubic centimeters update of the previous 675 cubic centimeters engine. As well as a basic version now dubbed the Street Triple S and a higher spec R model, there's a new range topper called the Street Triple Rs. Where the previous bike boasted 106 bhp from its 675 cubic centimeters engine, the new S version cranks out 111 bhp, the R manages 116 bhp and the new Rs manages 121 bhp. The extra capacity and performance comes courtesy of a new crankshaft and increased bore and stroke, fitted to all versions of the bike. In European markets there's also a smaller 660 cubic centimeters version that's able to be restricted to just 47 bhp and meet A2 licensing laws for new riders. In line with new European rules, all the versions have ABS brakes meet EU Euro 4 emissions limits, which came into force on January 1 this year. Partly as a response to the changes needed to reduce emissions, all versions of the bike get ride-by-wire throttles. They also feature traction control and multiple riding modes. The chassis is largely familiar, but there's a new swing arm and stylistically the bikes get new side panels, exhausts, tail units and headlights. However, there are significant changes from one model to the next. The basic Street Triple S features new clocks that retain the old combination of an analog RPM gauge, counter and digital speed readout. It uses Showa suspension at both ends and Nissan 2-pot, sliding caliper front brakes. Riding modes are limited to rain and road options. Step up to the R version and things get a little more interesting. The S model's gauge features a speedometer, rev counter, riding mode symbol, gear position display, fuel gauge, odometer, trip meter and journey distance. On the R and Rs models, Triumph adds additional features including 2 trip displays, average and instantaneous fuel consumption, range to empty, riding mode selection, display style and contrast settings, service information, coolant temperature, warning symbol information and for the Rs model only, a lap timer. The instruments are replaced with a new color TFT display that offers every imaginable piece of information. The suspension is again from Showa, but the forks are the higher spec big piston front version and the shock is fully adjustable. Braking on the R is done by Brembo 4-piston monoblock calipers and the electronics quotient is up to include 4 riding modes, adding sport and a rider programmable option on top of the road and rain settings. The range-topping Street Triple Rs offers even more. There's a belly pan to mark it out visually, plus bar and mirrors. As well as its extra peak power, the 765 cubic centimeters triple in the Rs gets shorter gear ratios to boost acceleration and a quick shifter to help you make your way through them. Its front suspension is improved again, to show a big piston forks, while the rear shock is even better and comes from Öhlins. The brakes are Brembo's M50 radial monoblock calipers. Both the engine and the ABS brakes gain an additional track mode over and above the options already offered on the R model. Whichever version you choose, weight is pegged at 366 pounds. Prices should be close to those for the existing bike for the S and R versions, while the Rs will understandably cost more when it reaches dealers in March. The S follows in April and you'll have to wait until May for the R model. Stronger than ever acceleration and slicker gear changes are achieved through a combination of revised gearbox geometry and shorter first and second gear ratios.